Hey, this is the World Advice Channel 2. What I want to talk about today is the problem with black self hate. So, for anyone who's black and even people outside of the black community, I'm certain you are quite aware that there is a lot of self hate in the black community. Black people who don't love themselves because they're black. So, for that very reason, for this video, I'm going to explain why black self hate makes literally no sense whatsoever. And not only that, but also the things we should be proud of as black people. So now I mentioned that, let's get started. So when it comes to the topic of black self hate, why does it not make any sense? Well, the first reason why it doesn't make any sense, I'm gonna make it clear, is that you cannot base the failures of other people on yourself. Because to sum it up, the stereotype about black people at its fundamental core is black people are stupid. But the truth of the matter is stupidity is a choice. Because the truth of the matter is, just continuing on with what I was getting at before, by elaborating, the whole idea that black people are stupid, this whole fictional notion that black people are stupid, as well as the idea of basing intelligence off of the failures of other people, a lot of them who are simply not trying, is that it simply doesn't make any sense. Because the truth of the matter is, anyone who's black and has been in all black communities and so on and so forth already probably knows exactly what I'm talking about, okay? When it comes to dealing with the black community. A lot of black people, to sum it up, just simply put it, don't try, or simply don't try. They don't try because they don't think it's cool to. They're interested in making money on the streets and all this type of stuff. And for that very reason, you know what? No surprise, they don't do very well in life, and they just as a result, don't come off as very smart and intelligent in the process. To be quite honest with you, um, so the truth of the matter is, a lot of black people who live in those type of neighborhoods. Not saying a majority of black people, but a lot of black people who live in those communities are not beacons of extreme intellect and wisdom in any way, shape, or form whatsoever, for that matter. Okay, a lot of them, to sum it up, are dumb. Okay, I'm not gonna hide my words. I'm gonna be 100% honest. A lot of them are just dumb. And the truth of the matter is, when it comes to the black community, for that matter, okay, we need to simply understand that when you have people who act like that and make statements like, oh, if you speak proper English or you are interested in intellectual topics, you're not black enough, that is not a reflection of who you are. And because a lot of those people get poor marks and don't do very well, and a lot of times because they don't do very well, they actually are used by people to give this notion and this notion that black people are stupid because they go to these poor neighborhoods where a lot of kids don't care that much about the work they're doing, for that matter, in the first place, and they give them tests and they say, oh, the average black person's IQ is like 70 something. The truth of the matter is, you cannot base your opinion on people like that who are simply not trying in the first place. And the truth of the matter is, the black people who is the reason why it comes off that way sometimes that black people are stupid is because the black people who act that way are not trying. It's that simple. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It has nothing to do with anything else. They're simply not trying. Okay? And when it comes to you, you can't base how you would do for something off of how they would do for something. Okay? And that's the truth of the matter is. And to if you are not fully convinced, let me fully elaborate on this particular topic, okay? Because the truth of the matter is, when it comes to topics like self love, I mean, when it comes to intelligence, even though it's complicated to understand and being intelligent for that matter is hard, it's not as hard as you think it is. Because the truth of the matter is, every human being in the world has the ability to not only retain information, but retain information that they previously learned, but has ability to learn and even develop previous information. Okay, everything you can imagine in life, if someone is actually putting in serious effort and trying, anyone can do that. Person can do well in it. Okay, the truth of the matter is, intelligence is not as hard as you think it is. Okay, literally every single skill you can imagine in existence, whether it could be mathematics, English, science, so on and so forth, is fundamentally simple to understand when you get yourself started with it. It's just that it gets more complicated as you go along. And if it's fundamentally simple to understand when you get started with it, then no surprise, you can start, of course, working on it. Pick which thing you want to learn and work with it, particularly mathematics, since everything pretty much goes well with mathematics anyway. And let's just say, for example, to give an easy example, okay, you want to do something complicated like create a rocket or something. You're a black person who wants to, be a rocket scientist. The mathematics needed to do that. To understand math in its first place is fundamentally simple. All you have to do is learn how to make more calculations. Instead of just calculating maybe like what's 500 times 200, now you have to calculate like 12,000, what's 12,000 times 500,000 or something like that. I don't know. But you get the point, okay? It takes time, but if you dedicate your time and you're putting a lot of time and effort, it eventually builds up. And next thing you know, you're doing very well with it, okay? That is the truth of the matter. Anyone can be successful in anything, regardless of race, if they are trying. And it makes no sense to base how well you could do something just based off your race, based on people who in a lot of cases are not even trying in the first place, okay? And as the truth of the matter. So that's one of the best ways to deal with black self-hate, okay, is to simply realize that fact that a lot of black people who don't do well and are failing because they're not trying and they're just being stupid, okay? And as the truth of the matter. So that's my first main point. The second main point, when it comes to dealing with black self-hate, it simply comes down to the fact that when it comes to dealing with black self-hate, it's kind of weird that people say that we don't have anything what we already achieved, which of course is a classic belief system that those who do not, who don't have it, who don't know their history are broken or whatever. But the truth of the matter is there's actually a lot of black accomplishments. Okay, first and foremost, Egypt, Egypt, who we all know was at a period of time the greatest rival and the most powerful, one of the most powerful nations, if not the most powerful nation in the ancient world, greatest rival, for them was the Nubians, and the Nubians were an African civilization who built pyramids, similar to them because it was actually a custom around that local area, just like how the Mayans, as well as the Aztecs, were two different cultures, but they still built monuments that look exactly the same. So it was a cultural thing. There weren't just Egyptians and Nubians. There was different civilizations that tend to build pyramids. It was a cultural thing around that local area. And like I was saying before, I was getting at before, guess who's the greatest rival of Egypt was? It was the Nubians, a black African civilization, who were known as some of the best archers in the ancient world. Not to mention they actually built even more pyramids, believe it or not, than actually the Egyptians did. Okay, the Egyptians just built bigger ones, while the Nubians created just a greater collection of them. Okay, but it still should not derail the successes of the Nubians, as well. Not to mention there's African civilizations like Great Zimbabwe and a few other ones that existed, which is still pretty advanced. Not to mention, in today's world, look at how big and powerful black entertainment is. Everywhere you go in the world, you hear black music or the inspiration of black music. So why should I, or anyone for that matter, not necessarily me, because I know I'm not a self-hating black person, but why should anyone in the world feel the need to, who is black at least, feel the need to hate themselves? We live in a world where so many people like our music and our entertainment anyway, and that took intellect to develop. So where is the need for this hatred and the self-hatred? And yes, believe it or not, I will even go here, okay? I've been on some racist people's channels, some hardcore racist people. And guess what? I go on their channel and you know what I see? A bunch of black shit on it. And that's not even including the fact that the South itself, despite how much they hate black people, they're, guess what's the most popular sport? Football. And what community of people do you see mostly do football when it comes to being players of that game? Black people. So the truth of the matter is, why should you hate yourself as a black person? Well, not only have I proven that you're not any dumber than anyone else, but secondly, our culture is so significant in the world. It doesn't make any sense. The truth of the matter is, it's not to put, especially for my second point, it's not to doubt other communities and their contributions to the world. I'm not saying that there's not other communities of people that have significant contributions. I'm certain there are, you know, but the thing is, for this topic, it's about us black people being proud of the things we contributed. So that's this is my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Just remember, if you like this video and videos like this, remember to sum this video up and the subscribe button. I hope you learned something new, as well as found it enlightening. And this is all to say. And simply put, I'm out. So bye.